Headline News, I'm David Goodnow. Hollywood legend Vincent Price has died. His personal assistant said the actor died in his home in Los Angeles Monday after a long battle with lung cancer. He was most famous for his roles in horror films such as House of Wax and The Pit and the Pendulum, but he also starred in dozens of other movies, including The Three Musketeers.
You were never so welcome as at this moment.
Nor so unwilling to come. You promised me.
Price also served as the longtime host of the PBS series Mistério.
Oh.
Vincent Price was 82.
What is this?
Headline News, I'm David Goodnow. Actor Vincent Price has died. The veteran star of over 100 films died at his Los Angeles home Monday of lung cancer. He was best known for his frequent roles in horror films like The Fly and House of Wax. But he was also a versatile, stage-trained actor who appeared in movies like The Ten Commandments, Laura, and The Three Musketeers. In addition to acting, Price authored books on cooking and art. Vincent Price was 82.
Thief does not have the mind of a human, but the murderous brain of the fly.
I pray that he does not.
But if he does come here, not for help, but to kill.
Hollywood today is remembering the leading man of horror movies, Vincent Price. He died last night in Los Angeles of lung cancer at 82.
Although he never played the famous movie monsters like Frankenstein, Vincent Price knew how to chill an audience with just his presence.
Leonard Maltin is with us now, and he says there was more to the man than the creepy movie image. Leonard.
Well, John and Mary, what kind of man was Vincent Price? It's the kind of actor who would agree to do schlocky horror movies in Europe, then turn in his first-class plane ticket and downgrade his hotel so he could use that money to buy pieces for his beloved art collection. Yes, there was much more to Vincent Price than we saw on screen, but to generations of moviegoers, he will always be linked with horror films.
You know, being invisible has distinct advantages. It gives one a sense of power that's exciting. Power for good, if you're so inclined. Or should you feel perverse, for evil.
Evil is the key word here, and Vincent Price's first brush with horror and fantasy. In 1940s, The Invisible Man returns. Little did he dream then that horror would dominate his career in later years, that he would be associated with the likes of Edgar Allan Poe and even The Fly. His goal was to spend his life in more genteel surroundings, as you see in this book he wrote about art, to which he devoted his life.
I was brought up as an art historian. I was an art historian before I was an actor. And I really wasn't sure which one I was going to do. But I became an actor, and it paid so well, it made it possible for me to afford to buy some art.
So it was that he became an actor, first in London and then on the Broadway stage, where he enjoyed almost immediate success and co-starred with Helen Hayes in her great hit, Victoria Regina. But movies soon beckoned, and before long, Price made his name in Hollywood. One of his best films, and one of his personal favorites, was the classic 1944 mystery romance, Laura, with Gene Tierney.
Hello, Shelby.
Excuse me, honey. You're Laura Hunt.
Yes.
Hello. I'm Shelby Carpenter. Want to dance?
It wasn't until 1953 that Price headlined a horror film of note, the 3D hit House of Wax. He still took other roles, like this villainous Egyptian in The Ten Commandments. But by the late 1950s, his fate was sealed in films like The Tingler, The Fly, and then Return of the Fly. By the 1960s, his name was synonymous with terror. He was paid homage in a 1982 animated film by young Tim Burton called Vincent.
For a boy his age, he's considerate and nice. But he wants to be just like Vincent Price.
I think my first reaction was, this is finally fame.
He provided a horror rap for Michael Jackson's eerie music video, Thriller.
For no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.
He was chosen to host the weekly PBS series, Mystery. He even hosted a horror highlight series for Entertainment Tonight.
Shall I be surprised at who I am? Till we meet again, Vincent Price.
And he voiced the character of Ratigan in Disney's The Great Mouse Detective.
Oh, this is wicked, so delightfully wicked. With time so short, I'll say so long and go so soon.
But like veteran colleagues Christopher Lee and John Carradine, he disparaged gory, graphic horror films in favor of the kind he used to make.
I think they were sort of fairy tales, really. You know, they were gothic tales, and they were, really our job was to make the unbelievable believable.
He was devoted to Lillian Gish in The Whales of August and to his third wife, actress Coral Brown, in real life. She died in 1991. Price's last major appearance was in Tim Burton's Edward Scissorhands, in which he played the kindly Dr. Frankenstein-type figure. It was a fitting screen farewell for a man who had mastered so much on screen and off.
Until we meet again, I'm Vincent Price.
A delightful man. I think everyone who met him felt that way. In fact, his co-star in the film Edward Scissorhands, Johnny Depp, told us this morning, Vincent was one of the most beautiful souls I've ever met. I don't think anyone in Hollywood, young or old, would disagree.
I think you're right, Leonard. I had the occasion to meet him several times and just felt there was a sweetness and gentleness about him that was an inspiration.
You bet.
Thanks, Leonard. A great tribute. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.